I looked down and I think it was because Joan was recording earlier, so my mic volume was turned way low. It should be better.
Okay.
All right, I am hitting the buttons.
He's
I am hitting the
live.
buttons.
Dude, why are all the characters half dork? What is this? What the hell?
He's taking
Not
over.
every character is just half dork and drag.
I'm not half dork.
Yeah, they do
Let's
kind of
see.
look like the same character in different stages of their lives.
Yeah. Middle should be on bottom. Bottom should be middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Was that like those video games where it's like level 1, little puny boy, level 100, and it's just like has RuneScape or World of Warcraft armor on essentially.
Yeah.
Was that the level
ads.
1?
Yeah, the mobile
Yeah, I know
game
what you're talking
ads.
about.
Yeah, the mobile game ads, yeah.
Oh my! I want to be level 100.
I'll have to spend
How much money?
$5 20,000 times to get there.
Worth it.
Weird.
Okay. I do recommend being on Twitch or YouTube. Your choice.
What about both?
Hello.
I mean, yeah, if you want to increase your chances. I think that's a fun aspect of it, where it's like
Hello.
just being in both chats, you have double your chances.
Hello.
Okay.
I gotta go with him.
I would
Hello.
suggest you guys fight over who wants to be, what role, but just so you're aware, player 1 is tank, frontline is the keyword I'm using. Player 2 is specialist is the keyword I'm using. That's like DPS. If that keyword doesn't make sense to you, now would be a good time to say other words I'm
Say it
thinking
again.
is striker,
Say it again.
specialist.
For DPS.
So for DPS, yeah. I might even just go with DPS, but we're looking at the trinity here. So frontline is your tank,
Yep.
specialist is your DPS, and then support is the player 3, which is essentially your healer.
But does
so,
it include other
just-
just as the healer, or is it just healing?
So support characters will have access to healing type upgrades, specials, spells, and they are there's 4 options for support. I'll just kind of give you guys the rundown.
Cleric.
Support is cleric, druid, bard, or artificer. So I have 3 that are playable at the moment. The way the game works is at the very beginning of a stream, it gets reset every stream. You have 2 of each role available. So support, the first 2 roles that are available are cleric and druid. You guys have to find the quest as we play to unlock bard. So bard is the other class that I've fleshed out. All of these classes can be played up to level 3. And just for clarification, in frontline you can play as fighter or barbarian, and specialist you can currently play as rogue or wizard. The unlockable classes are for frontline paladin, and for specialist sorcerer.
Yeah, I will say I do like the idea of striker more than specialist if they're going to be a DPS focused class.
I think special
like
is a
it too.
bit of like I'm not really sure what that is, I guess.
Right, it is ambiguous, but see, striker, in my opinion, is also, it sounds more melee or like offensive, and this is just etymology, I think is the correct term, where it's just language and like trying to find what works. But I do appreciate the thoughts, so striker, I think you guys appreciate more.
What
Yeah.
like I'm assuming you chose specialist because it's not pure damage, there's like other things in there.
Correct.
Or
Yeah,
what other stuff?
so as we play, you guys will discover what classes can do, but wizard, for instance, is able to copy down any scrolls that you find. So rather it be like a consumable scroll that's a one-time use, a wizard can copy it into their spellbook and essentially keep it and use it every single combat. Whereas a rogue, you'll have access to skill enhancements. So for example, stealth, sleight of hand, or Acrobatics, you roll with advantage on all of those. So each class, and by definition subclass and mastery, they get added bonuses in certain events. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Hey Garnikin, what's up? Welcome. I am going to open up the raffle. So we're going to do entry on. Hopefully this works. Okay, so if you're looking at Twitch chat, please enter 1, 2, or 3. So front line is 1, 2 is your specialist or striker, 3 is support. And if you like have no care about what you're playing, type all. And our good friend Garnikin is also in chat. He entered all, so maybe he'll get a chance to play too. And this is a good way to test out my timer, because we have a 4th party member, potentially. So the timer is going to be up on screen at 10 minutes. And I'll probably hide...
Why is there barbarian and fighter on the screen?
Because that's
So
front
this
line.
is going to be us picking. Yeah, we're going to be picking the frontline character.
Oh. I feel like that
Yeah,
should be
so
on
it'll be
screen, yeah.
between... Yeah, I probably should have put up like a loading screen. Do I have one?
Or just your logo.
That's true.
I mean, yeah,
Here's
it could be really anything. else.
It could be anything, but you're right. I think that might have
Yeah,
been...
the campfire is
little
nice.
bit
I like the
distracting.
campfire.
I think like
Yeah,
there should be
it's a
like
nice
a
loop.
centered like take those pictures that are on the right and like put them like horizontally and like have labels on top of them. So like fighter equals number like or not fighter but like the roles, you know what I'm saying? Like frontline equals number 1. Blah 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 equals number 2. Blah 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 equals number 3. Like people know. Like,
Okay.
I can hop in and be like, oh, what are we doing right now? We're in chat saying 1, 2, 3. What does that mean? You know what I mean? And you look on the screen and be like, 1 is this, 2 is this.
I see what you're saying. Okay. I want to make a mental note. I'll probably just put it in my notepad here to get a recording of the stream, just so I can play that back. But yeah, thank you for the feedback. All right,
So-
moving on. We have our picking of players, so I'll hit the button. Hopefully it gets everybody picked. Entries are closed. Garnikin's player 1.
Noise.
Loot Lol is player 2.
Oh yeah.
And player 3 is... I don't think anybody wanted to play support,
I
maybe?
literally picked 3.
Yeah.
Okay, you did?
Yeah. It's still in the chat too. And
I'm
you're-
player 3 as well. Let's go. No.
There we go. So I have a fallback. So essentially, if someone gets picked, I just redo the roll. There's also like a dead entry. So that's probably what happened. I picked the dead entry a couple times. But that's why I have this fallback. Anyway, moving on. So we have Garnikin, Lootlol, and Demoghost. So to start off, generally the characters would not be up on screen right now. Sorry for that. We're going to go to our frontline pick. So now we're going to do a poll. So this is going to be the poll 2. And thank you everyone watching, listening in the call for your patience. You can vote on Barbarian or Fighter. So there is a timer going, called out again, aka Caleb. So at the end of the timer, it'll provide a notification for me to redo the voting. And so you guys will very likely play different characters, because that's the way this game is supposed to go. Like, alright, so we have Fighter as our class. And so I rotate this out, and we get to now pick another poll here. And so now you're picking dueling, great weapon fighting, or 2-weapon fighting. So keep in mind you are the front line, so dueling is more defensive. Great weapon fighting is arguably the most damage potential, whereas 2-weapon fighting, you're essentially rolling twice on every attack. So it's more likely to hit, I suppose you could say. So it looks like our poll is not currently active, but I think I was just too fast, maybe. I guess we'll find out at the end of the timer. Okay, so 2-weapon fighting is what won. Generally speaking, whoever is the fighter, so this was Garnikin.
I guess the visual aspect just broke a little bit.
Yeah. So a lot of what I'm doing right now, talking through it, I'm catching things that I've done wrong. For example, the fighter is a small size right now. Oh god.
Small size.
Look how tiny he is
Where am I looking?
on the stream.
Oh, on the top right. I see it.
Oh.
Okay, well, I'm gonna just give you a different character art. And, alright, so great. You guys picked 2-weapon fighting. I will go ahead and see how long it'll take me to fix this art. First impressions, hit me.
With what?
Just this process. I'll even go to player 2. But from
Why
what
is
you're
there like
looking
moves
at,
and stuff? What is that stuff on the left?
That's just, I guess, what the... There's a bard there too. That is weird. I don't know. The process seems a little long, especially if you got to do this with every character. That's the only thing.
But we're like walking through it. That's the thing. It likely. Goes
Yeah, I am-
once everybody's like, yeah.
right, I am talking through it a lot. And so I just hid the chat on the left. I could see how that could be distracting. Obviously, it doesn't really apply here, so I think that's valuable feedback too. Just so you're aware, this is definitely like information you probably wouldn't know, but the negative space, so you can see Rogue and Wizard at the top, there's empty space. So it's kind of understood that there's more classes, right? Like it's not like you're like not confused by the fact that there's only 2 things on screen, yeah?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily assume that there's more classes.
My first impression was that those aren't centered on the screen. Maybe if you made like some sort of like border.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just think those are the 2 choices.
Yeah, or like shadowed circles, so that we know that.
Oh, sure.
more.
Yeah, I like the idea of shadow spaces, because that definitely fills in the blank. Because I agree with Caleb here. It's like, it's almost like confusing in a way. Cool. So you're voting on Rogue or Wizard right now.
No one.
And I do want to... Oh, what's up?
I said no one wants to play a wizard.
Understandable. Cool. I also want to embrace this silent moments too. Like, for example, how it takes a minute to vote on things. I want to almost encourage myself in a way to not talk. Obviously, I'm talking through everything right now. But I kind of need this empty time to do prep, for example.
Okay.
All right. So, Rogue, you have 3 choices: combat, poison, and trickery. So, what's new with the Dungeons & Dragons coming out later this year is weapon mastery. So, rogues, and I should have mentioned this for fighter, they have what's called a weapon mastery. So, depending on what weapon you're using, you have an extra ability that you can use in combat. So trickery here is different from combat and poison. Combat and poison are dual wielding weapons. Trickery, on the other hand, is using a rapier, which is an ability called Vex that it provides, which gives you advantage on attacks. So this is where you can compare, and I did some balancing, and obviously will balance over time, where dual wielding is, 2 attacks. You get 2 rolls per combat. Whereas with Vex, the action that you get from Rapier, you're getting advantage. So it evens out.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the raffle is resetting.
Oh wait.
I don't see the vote on the left side of the screen though.
Oh, this is I'm glad you said that, because now I'm thinking about it. The raffle itself is not a vote.
Oh, okay.
I have not put up the vote for the
now we're
rogue yet.
voting.
Oh, so it's
So,
a raffle, you
I-
put vote in and then it picks randomly.
Yeah, I'm glad you
Okay.
you said that, because I think making the raffle different numbers is also important, because right now I'm doing 1, 2, 3 to pick things.
There should
So
be
if the
some
raffle is
distinction for sure.
yeah, definitely a distinction. Maybe I'll do like P1, P2, P3.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
Or
and thank you for your patience, everyone. All right,
or
so
like an animation or graphic that shows that clearly shows that it's a raffle instead of a vote.
right. Well, I think the main concern that just came to mind, because I didn't even think about this, is like, what if we have a vote going on and my automation, which just kicked in, is like, okay, everybody, raffle's open again, type 1, 2, 3. So there is like this crossover that I wasn't even considering. So it very likely will need to get changed. All right. Picking characters here.
And then I think too, with these different combat stuff, if you have maybe like a short description underneath them, or maybe a short description once they're picked of what they are, so that people know what they're voting for or something. Because not everyone watching is gonna know what these are, what combat means, what poison means, what trickery means, all that stuff. Especially if it's new.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I did try to consider all the fallbacks. So all of you are currently your characters. We'll play like this for now. I think the timer I'm going to disable for now. We're just going to keep playtesting here. We'll do a quick poll here for the rogue. So please cast your vote for combat, poison, or trickery.
Oh wait, I'm player 2 now? Oh, I thought that was for this.
Yeah, see, that's where I went on that tangent of like, oh, these numbers are...
Yeah, you went on
confusing.
that tangent and I still was confused.
Yeah.
I was voting for poison. Yeah, definitely should have a graphic of some sort for the revote to play the characters for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm seeing how long it takes me to fix this image as well, but should be good to go. All right, so 2-1. So now we have poison. So what that entails, and this is usually the moment where I'll be like, okay, so poison means you deal an extra 1 point of poison damage on your main hand attacks, and don't forget, upgrades are directly affected by whichever one of your expertise you choose. So for fighter, I would have introduced it as the fighting style. So fighting styles in D&D terminology and give you like a specific bonus. Because you guys took your 2-weapon fighting, you actually deal more damage with your offhand attack. Whereas with rogue, your expertise of poison is going to give you more of a stealth advantage because you're applying poison, as well as giving you a little bit of extra poison damage to kind of like balance out that flavor of like, oh, I'm picking combat, oh, I'm picking poison, oh, I'm picking trickery. Okay, moving on, we have our cleric and druid. So you guys have two choices. The poll is in chat. And there's another thing I'm doing behind the scene here, where I'm adding the action bars. So the action bars is what I spent the most time on this past month.
Now you're having to do all this manually right now, right?
So with the action bars, it's basically drag and dropping a folder, so it doesn't take as long. I tried to streamline it as much as possible, but it does still take me, I would say, 10 seconds per character.
Well, I mean, even this. Like this part.
Well, this part, I can actually offload to a moderator in the future, which is kind of cool. But for now, yes, I am doing everything manually.
Damn.
All right, so you guys picked the druid. Okay, so I rotate it out. And so a druid, you can be a feral druid, a magician, or a warden. So feral druid is going to be more of talking with animals. It'll also give you specific cantrips and spells, as well as upgrades that you'll encounter. Whereas magician is going to be more of your long-range spellcaster. And then there's warden, which is more of a defensive, they wear medium armor. And some of these, so magician and warden, are new features that are coming up in the player's handbook. So if you guys aren't aware, 2024, they did a complete rehaul of the player's handbook for 5th edition. So this is after 10 years of 5th edition, they basically redid the player's handbook. So magician and warden are literal druid features that you're picking at level 1, whereas feral is the more homebrew option that I created. All right, so magician is actually introducing a new spell. So magician introduces Starry Wisp. So Starry Wisp is you're basically throwing a star that you conjure as a druid with your nature connection. Okay, so now that we have our 3 classes picked, what's up?
I was just going to mention it. I mean, you probably noticed it too, but at least on the stream, the animations of when it spins over is a little
clunky.
Clunky, yeah. It's not very smooth.
Yeah, it is. That is something I'll consider, but right now it's
bottom. Yeah, that's more nitpicky.
Yeah. But I do appreciate the thought. There might be a way for me to automate
on
that.
OBS that you could just turn on and off. I don't
so
know how
this is actually inside of Foundry.
Foundry.
So what you're looking at, this feral magician and warden, I'm actually interacting with in real space, and there are some pros and cons to it. I did want to offload a little bit. I think if I were to put it into OBS, obviously I'd have to redo a lot of the work I did, but I also like this aspect because I'm able to customize it a little bit more. Namely because I'm drag and dropping abilities, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So we've now picked our classes. I just need a moment to make sure the action bars are ready to go, and then we're basically ready to journey forth. So I'd probably put up a waiting screen here, and then any feedback, whatever is coming to mind, please feel free to share.
Should there be music or something with this?
I do have the music relatively low.
Oh, I have it muted. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say, do you have the stream open?
Yeah, it's pretty low. I mean, I can turn it up.
No, it's good when I listen to it.
Yeah, Chris, I realized it.
Wait, is that Final Fantasy?
Yeah, this is from Final Fantasy 11. Made by Space Roast. Check them out on YouTube.
Emma goes to such a wish he would shut up.
Damn. That's savage.
Damn, dude, chat is roasting you.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy, bro.
Crazy, chat is so roasting you, dude. I wouldn't even come back on here if I were you.
So are we waiting for this animation, or are we?
Well, we're traveling, Chris, across such a great distance.
Play load screen.
It takes weeks.
We're going very far.
This is waiting for Elliot to prep.
Real life roguelike.
Yeah, I'm trying to, like, me talking is actually also distracting me in a way. So I'm trying to also, I'm literally multitasking, and I'm also trying to like talk through it, which isn't helping. Like, I think it just takes practice, quite literally. You know, like once I do this X amount of times, like it's just second nature.
Is there any way to have presets or anything so that you don't have to do so much work?
Well, yeah, like I said, all of these automations are intended to be offloaded to a moderator at some point. And, you know, ideally it's someone I'd pay hourly. But right now I'm currently pushing like a bunch of buttons. Great. So I want to go to the map now. So I'm trying to combat. Okay.
This is like the D&D
This will
equivalent.
be another. What's up?
I was making a stupid joke, but this is like the D&D equivalent of like cutting soap on like a TikTok split screen. I'm so funny. All right, let's go. What were you saying?
Hey, I can throw up Subway Surfers if you're getting distracted.
I'd appreciate that.
All right. So now you guys are about to go on an adventure together. Generally speaking, you can talk as your characters right now. So you are a fighter, a rogue, and a druid. Like, I would obviously introduce it in more of a thematic way, but I did kind of lose momentum there because I stumbled.
Why is
So
the
feel
map
free
like
to vote.
moving around?
Because if I let go of
Parents'
it,
jokes
it
are when I
snaps
wish
to
he
the
would just
center.
shut up.
You don't want us to
Alright.
see the rest of it?
It's more so because I'm trying to keep it centered. So this is just because I'm keeping in mind vertical view.
Stabs
Vertical view
Druid
is,
in the back and replaces
you
them
know,
with
up
a
and down.
quieter and more good-looking
Right.
Druid.
so I want to keep it centered so
I
that
see what you're saying.
everyone viewing on vertical is able to see like the choices, for example. But if I were to snap it back, like you can see everything in 1920 1080p, no problem.
That was not
just
the
to
voice
answer your
I was
question.
expecting to come from my character.
Yeah, let me change your voice real quick. It's very simple to change your voice at least. Do you want deep, burly, or do you want like, I don't know, sneaky?
Can I get burly?
Your choice.
Sneaky? Sneakily burly?
I can. You want to be schizophrenic? I can make you have two different voices that it changes between.
Nah.
All right, congratulations, you're a hobo. That's the voice you get.
Perfect.
All right, and that's already done. So now you have the new voice. Cool. So we're going into our first combat, and we have a dual wielding fighter. We have a poisoner rogue, and we have a magician druid.
Spire change.
All right.
June. My God. This at the end.
Am I gonna regret that?
Yes.
Okay, so your party encounters a tragedy as you begin this journey to the next town. You come across what appears to be a battlefield. Seems as though bandits were quarreling over local resources. And something just seemed to come over one of the groups, and you can see these like arcane rituals that appear underneath some of the corpses. And several of them begin to come back to life. You see their bodies almost smell you as you approach. And these corpses begin to groan in pain.
Oh god, there's blood everywhere.
Okay, and so we'll go ahead and roll for initiative here. And you all don't have to do anything. I decided to speed things up. I basically roll for everybody, and we just hop right into it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So combat begins. Our druid is the first to act. So druid, go ahead and just glance at the screen here. This is what is available to you.
I feel like we should be zoomed in a little more.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can barely see
So,
what's going on.
if I wanted to use
Yeah,
entangle,
it is pretty zoomed out.
what would I type?
So this is
Or
where you
just
would
say
generally,
entangle.
yeah, you would type in chat what you want to do on your turn. And again, like I do take advantage of
I
this
cast Entangle at first enemy.
silence. Okay, so Entangle begins to wrap itself around the ankles of these zombies as they crawl towards you. So we'll go ahead and cast that spell.
Is entangle concentration?
You do have to concentrate on it, yes.
Are one of those icons in the entangle window concentration? Is that a C?
Yes, so it is a lot of information to try and compact into the image. So just to describe what you're looking at for your all benefit, Entangle, it has a 20-foot radius, so it's like that little explosion icon. Then you'll see next to it a web, so it is potentially restraining the skeletons in it. And then the blue icon with the C in it, that is concentration.
Okay.
And so when you use this spell, I also make it grayed out. So this is another feature that I worked on. So now you can no longer use Entangle for the rest of the combat, but you're currently concentrating on it. And so that is your turn. We come now to our rogue.
Oh, that's
So
me.
rogues, at this level, you have your daggers, and then you also have a passive called Nick. That is your weapon mastery. So that allows you to basically use your main hand and your offhand dagger at the same time.
Okay.
And then sneak attack is just your obvious, like once you hit them, you deal an extra 1d6 damage. At this level, rogues don't really have much, but that's just me letting you know what you have. So go ahead and type what you'd like to do.
So Mogos, are you typing?
Yeah, I'm typing. Can you not hear my clinky keyboard?
Just making sure you know what's going on.
I lay on the ground prone between the strapping young fighter's legs and fire my crossbow
Okay.
at the nearest target.
Okay. So lock and load, our rogue drives a bolt through the closest zombie. Should see if these zombies are affected by the restraining of the entangle, which it doesn't appear as though it rolled for them, which is... Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud here. For the sake of brevity, they
When I
are
reach
all
up a
three of them
hand,
restrained.
hoping to find any hidden jewels the fighter might be hiding.
You're doing too much, Chris.
No, this is encouraged. So
I'm a
with
hobo.
the crossbow
so I'm
and
a character.
he's role playing.
Yeah.
All right, and with the sneak attack, the zombie falls. That's one down, 2 to go. The zombies are going to try and pull themselves out of this entangling mass. So both of them roll. One fails. Wastes his turn. The second one does pull himself free. He's able to move a couple spaces. We come down to our fighter. So fighters at this level, you have your main attack action, which is your dual wielding. And then you also are able to use a ranged weapon if you choose. Let me make sure you have your abilities up on screen. That would be nice.
It would be nice.
Did I? One moment, please. But also, go ahead and start typing what you want to do. I might have broken it. Yeah, that's something I'll write down. Nope, that was me. It's something I need to try and fix. This happened before too.
Oh shoot! What happened?
Nothing happened.
I saw it. Something happened. I'm calling the police.
So do keep in mind, in terms of spacing, I'll say you can get to the closest one this turn, and the other one is still restrained on the far end of the entangling spell.
I want to shoot
this
the
is-
closest zombie in the head with my crossbow.
Okay, very, very good. So the fighter locks and load his own crossbow.
Why do I sound like? I don't even know.
Cusco's poison.
Brain damage or something?
Oh, is it the guy
I
from?
like to shoot the zombies in my
I think it's the guy from Emperor's New Groove. If it was the same as last time.
Mm-hmm. All right, and so this
Sounds
zombie
strange.
takes a bolt to the head, still standing though.
We
Druid,
love
it comes back
Prague.
to you. So called out again. What would you like to do?
Can I crossbow Skelly?
As a druid, you are not very proficient with crossbows. However, you have a spell called... Oh, and that's my apologies.
The fighter things are still up.
Yeah, so that automation was something I wanted to get up and running. Please be patient. Go ahead and view your abilities now.
And what did Starry Wisp do?
It's a damaging ability. So that red icon is a dice shape. So that deals 1d8 damage.
Okay, I'll Starry Wisp the Skelly.
Very good. Okay, and so a bolt of astral energy emanates from your staff.
Starry
And
Wisp Skelly,
the zombie
please.
is no more.
Oh,
Rogue, it's back to you.
alrighty.
They are perfectly entangled right now.
Okay. I just love making it needlessly long. You're welcome.
I climb on top of the druid's head and unleash another crossbow bolt at the cowardly zombie. Then hide behind the strapping young fighter.
Okay, so jumping atop the druid, you unleash a crossbow bolt. You guys getting up close and personal. Even with advantage, rolling a 7 to hit.
Oof.
And then you hide behind the young fighter. And end your turn.
I really like the hobo voice and how he stops halfway, almost like he forgot what he was saying.
Alright, the zombie still unable to pull himself free. You guys are just unloading on him. Alright, fighter comes back to you.
But not me.
Is that one dead?
Yeah, the other one's dead.
Okay. If I step in the entangle, will it entangle me?
If you step in the entangle, yes. Now, you as a rogue, you have your poison daggers. You can actually throw them. Just keep in mind,
Well, I'm a fighter.
you no longer have them on your person.
Oh, he's a fighter.
Oh, I'm sorry. You are the fighter. And just thinking of Zagoria, rest in peace.
I'd like to step up to the zombie and with a giant roar attempt to slice them in half.
Ooh.
Okay. So the fighter charges into the entangled web. We'll say he leaps next to the zombie. But you do get your feet caught into the entangled, but it increases the momentum of your swing. So you grip the ground. We'll go ahead and do 2 weapon attacks here, both at advantage. There's a 6 points of damage on the first swing, and then another 3 on the second. And this zombie is no more. Combat has come to an end. Alright, upgrades are now on screen. You also got 6 gold.
Goddamn, we're rich.
Aw, damn it. The upgrades are not on screen.
Pommel Strike is on screen. I guess just take Pommel Strike.
Nah, I'm going for. I'm
Why
going
did
for
you
2.
climb on?
Black screen. Welcome to the void. Let's see Welcome to the void. I'm just trying to find where the upgrades went. You'll get new upgrade choices.
What a ripoff.
Back. So combat, I did streamline a little bit, but you guys, I think the action bars were definitely a hiccup. I do have an automation for that, so it will get faster in the future. But other than that, how did combat go?
It was fine. I mean, it's the first one, so it was super easy, which is how it should be, right? It was a little slow, but
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
I think that's also to be expected. It's hard to say it when it's just the first fight, also, because I don't know. I don't really have an understanding of how it's going to scale quite yet, right? Because
Sure.
when the fights do get more difficult, how long is that going to take? Pretty much is the question. Because I feel like we could have done this a little bit faster, just with everything, because we're still explaining things. But at the same time, if it's going to be people chatting and putting stuff in, that's naturally going to slow it down to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun. I like the interaction with the, just chatting and putting it in there.
It's weird balance too, where it's like you could just have it to where like, oh, all the skills are numbered and people just do 2 and stuff like that, or 3, which would make it faster, but also would lose some of the idea of role play. Just sort of chat.
Chat plays Pokemon, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I feel like I'm trying to avoid me playing by myself, like where I'm basically directing both sides of combat, but at the same time it's like I kind of have to. Like, for example, players aren't going to be like, I want to move 5 spaces up and then try to attack him with my greatsword. It's more akin to like I'm role playing as this character. Sorry for the black screen. I'm trying to understand. I think upgrades I just need to figure out after this play test. So I apologize. Upgrades are not going to be a part of the play test.
Okay.
Sadly, only player 1 gets upgrades. So congratulations, fighter. You're overpowered.
Yeah.
So again, is that like an extra thing added to the hotbar then?
Yes, it would be. So I'll just give fighter pommel strike for now, just to go through the motions here. And then I'll give each of you a different upgrade each time, and I'll just let you know what it is, and then you'll see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that just makes it fair in terms of playing today, but the fact that my graphic wasn't working is making me mad. So instead, we're just gonna give pommel strike and move on.
It'd be sick if there was like an overlay plugin or something. I don't know how Twitch works, but like you could like move stuff on the board and like click moves and stuff like that. That'd be sick.
Right. Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, give me 6 months and I can make it happen.
That's definitely something you do for the future.
Yeah. You need division of labor, Elliot. You're doing all the technical stuff and the performing. Yeah, outsource.
pretty much. But this has been fun to build. So also Pommel Strike, ironically, I don't have a graphic for. So guess what? You're getting Prepare. It's the Pommel Strike we have at home. So. All right, so one more combat and you guys level up.
Oh, we need to
Go back
level up yet?
Nope, you're level 1 still.
Okay.
Okay, so another pull. Back on the map. You guys have your option of a scroll or a quill.
Well, I'm
What
assuming
are they? Who knows?
I'm assuming the scroll is the
No
quill.
spoilers.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
And then the quill is a roleplay. That's what I'm assuming.
Okay, scroll wins. So you open up your quest journal. And generally speaking, I'd have a better introduction for this, but let's see. I have a little animation that plays, which I didn't make a shortcut for, but I'll let you guys pick. What do you want to do a quest for? Paladin or Sorcerer? Your choice.
Sorcerer.
Okay.
Paladin.
So there's an outbreak of elementals that destroyed a nearby town. A surge of magic has caused side effects that can be felt throughout the land. In order to unlock the sorcerer, you have to have an elite combat with elementals. So if we were to just check the map real quick, within 5 nodes, you have to fight one of the flaming skeletons, which luckily for you is pretty much every path. But yeah, that's where you'll encounter your quest. Other than that,
And that unlocks the sword
I don't really-
for the rest of the run, or like the rest of the day, or like the rest.
so basically you unlock sorcerer for the next playthrough.
It's not permanent.
It's like-
It's permanent for the rest of the stream.
It's like, oh, I was gonna say, is it like meta progression, or
In terms of this specific node, so you guys basically received a quest. I don't know if I should give you like some sort of reward.
For receiving a quest?
Yeah, for basically taking the
Taking the L.
quest node.
Only if you add something to it, like you get the quest, but you have to do a role play, or like, what do you get for doing a role play?
The roleplay moments are going to be in the events, which are the question marks. So you'll have the chance to take a question mark event. I think I will tie a roleplay event to these quests. It just makes sense.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. And then as long as when you go to complete the quest, you also get a reward for completing the quest. So not only do you get the unlock, but you get like a reward for completing the quest. That way it feels worth it, like you didn't waste it. Maybe you don't get anything right away, but when you're completing the quest, you get the reward.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The only problem that I'm really having right now is that not only am I like going through the motions, like I want to be taking notes. And every time I go to take notes, I feel like I'm like holding back on the flow. So
The flow's not
thank you
that
guys for being
important right
patient.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
This is a playtest, and purpose is to learn, not necessarily flow through everything as perfect as possible.
But yeah, a lot more things are breaking than I anticipated. I'll just say that much. Like I thought I thought I fixed a lot of these things, and then just new things are breaking, which is fun. It's just fun.
It's wonderful.
It's great. So I did have to refresh there, but luckily that fixed things. So for example, the combat tracker wasn't working during combat. You can now see it at the top of the screen. You also didn't see your inventory, which is now at the bottom of the screen. So these were like things that I saw weren't working. You know, it was just like one of those things where I had to hold myself back from fixing. So right now you have 6 gold. You have no rare items. We're about to go into another combat. I'm going to try and keep these brief.
But it's a good.
But you are level 1. What's up?
But it's good to test them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so in the middle of town, as you all are restocking your inventory, you feel a hand press up against your coin purse.
Hey, yo.
Not in a good way.
Me?
That's just me.
It seems as though a group of thugs has targeted your party all at the same time, and they appear to be running as fast as they can to the south.
Entangle.
So I'll add you all. Entangle! Choke them with vines. And so as they bob and weave through the crowd, we'll see if you can spot them. Ooh, with a 9. You're able to see 2 of the 3. I'll put them up on screen for you.
There's 2
One of them seems to be a...
No.
Can we use gravity magic to capture the crowd, including the thugs?
Who is gravity?
You can certainly try.
I mean, that seems like a pretty cool fighter move. I don't know.
It'd be cool to have a gravity move.
Pretty cool to have like a black hole, you know, that just opens up and doesn't let anybody go away. That'd be pretty cool.
What if
Just
I had-
saying, DM, just saying.
Missile.
What if I was like a rubber man like Luffy from One Piece, and then I
Yeah, what
could
if I
use
went
my
like tier
arms?
4 or 5, whatever it is, I don't watch that.
Yeah. DM, I told you, my backstory means that I'm a half demigod. So that means that I can... Okay, Rogue, what do you want to do?
Oh, I'm first? Ooh, okay. Oh, and I can use my stabby stabs. Okay.
Damn.
Okay, so while you're typing another paragraph essay, I'm gonna see if I can get the automation working.
To be fair, I think
what we want to do.
to be fair, I think Chris is probably faster than the majority of people that would be
I
participating.
slither
So.
my way,
Yeah.
man,
Slither.
standing in front
He
of the
slithers.
room,
Interesting.
and
Actor.
slashed
Slash his
his
ankle
ankles
with my
with
stabbers.
my stab.
I gotta keep things
Okay.
interesting, you know?
Slash his ankles with my stabbers.
Yeah,
Alright.
I like the way he sounds.
So the thug in front of you, unfortunately, very aware of his surroundings, and none of your allies are able to give you the advantage required for a sneak attack. You do manage to slip your daggers past his defenses. Oh, but both strikes, unfortunately, missing. But that's your turn. As now the thugs go, he'll turn around and you'll see him pull a
I
small
call
beating stick.
shenanigans.
You what? A beating
And
stick?
he'll pull out his beating stick and begin to wail on you. However, you just jump to the side. His friend, now seeing that combat has begun, will leap to the thug's aid. And he'll pull out a scimitar. 14 to hit. Does hit our rogue for 3 points of damage. Fighter, it's your turn.
What's our armor class?
So the armor will be on the action bar. It's quite small.
Oh, I see it.
Right now, ironically, I'm trying to put the automation on, and it's just removing it as soon as I put it on. It's funny. Okay.
I will step up to the nearest thug, grab them by the scruff, and stab them in
Jesus,
the gut,
David.
dragging along their penis.
All right. So grab him by the scruff, stab him in the gut. Sounds like a plan. With your dual short swords, first strike does hit for 6 points of damage.
Gotta be creative, kid.
And then we'll.
Mm-hmm.
And the second strike misses. Unfortunate. Druid comes to you.
Fail! Oh god.
The thugs!
Please give me a moment to get your action bar up. Otherwise, just so you're aware, you have Cure Wounds, you have an Entangle, you have Starry Wisp. You also have Create Bonfire, which is a small fireball.
Oh, so weak and feeble.
Did my
and
thing go through?
Injured.
I thought it did.
Alright.
I guess.
Oh, there's a timer. So
Oh.
I
If
I think it
only
was
there
just doing
someone who could cure my
Chris's
wounds
first?
or something.
because you did type, so I'm curious why it didn't go through.
This is clogging the chat.
I'm a very talkative rogue.
Oh.
Now
You
you're
can-
action-
That's what you would do. Oh, maybe it's. Oh no, it is. It's not that smart. I was thinking because I used it earlier, but
No. Why? I'm gonna see if I can troubleshoot that real quick because it was working fine before, wasn't it? Like, and even Chris is going through. Why
Mhm.
would yours just stop?
Dave's went through as well. I don't know if this would cause it, but he did type something right before he switched scenes, and it started playing, and then he switched scenes. Or is he? That was there another like raffle? Oh no, poo poo pee pee went through. Okay,
oh, there we go.
she was just typing the wrong. Oh, the exclamation points! Don't do the exclamation points.
Oh.
That could be it. That very well could be. It's supposed to hide it if you do exclamation point at the start,
Entangle the Valve
but if
bugs
it's
with
at
my
the end,
supernatural powers.
there it goes. But I'm looking at the queue, and for whatever reason,
It was the one without the exclamation points.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the Exmo.
okay.
It's the punctuation.
That's good to note. Good troubleshooting, thank you.
Really.
Okay, so casting Entangle. As they try to run away. However, one of them already has escaped at this point.
The ones that we haven't seen?
Yep.
Okay.
So these two basically blocked your path. If one of you like picked up on the thought of like, oh, there was a third one, I'm gonna keep going, like try to push past them, you might have been able to spot them. Okay, but that is your action. The thugs are currently entangled. Rogue, it's your turn.
Okay.
See if I can get your action bar up in a moment.
I climb the thief's back and stick my stabbers into his eye hole.
Very good. You climb atop the thug as he's bound by these entangling roots. Pull out your daggers. That's a hit.
I'd hope so at this point.
And they both strike true, bringing the thug down. One remains. He'll try and flee, but immediately get caught in the vines. He is able to pull himself free. Round the corner. Fighter, it's back to you. Oh, I'm a dummy. I was wondering why the automation wasn't working. It's hard to explain, but
thug, cutting the tendon on the
You
back
figured
of
it
their
out.
ankles so they
figured
cannot
it out.
escape.
okay, tripping the thug. You do round the corner.
For that-
Unfortunately, you too get caught in the entangling vines for but a moment. Thanks, Garnican. See you later. And so then you'll cut the back of their tendon. 2 strikes. And that's enough to bring him down. Combat is ended.
Do not let them cook.
Yeah, you guys get some gold and an upgrade. You got, wow, you rolled a high roll, 20 pieces of gold.
Hell yeah.
Unfortunately, you lost 2, which was a third of your gold, but getting 20, no problem. You have 24 gold pieces.
Yeah, that seems like a net benefit.
Take that.
Okay. And now we'll consult the map once more. You guys will have 3 choices. Go ahead and vote in chat.
I wish I knew what the castles were.
What?
The little castles.
Is that a shop?
We don't know. It's a mystery.
Now, I know I think I brought this up last time, but did you ever find a way to maybe put something like the armor class or health over the icon, or the avatar portraits on the right?
I did have a way to do that in between combats that I was exploring. Unfortunately, no. To answer your question.
Damn.
Instead, it's all about the health bars underneath your tokens while we're in combat. That's what is pretty apparent. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah, but I have like no idea how much health I have in total. How many times I could afford to get hit.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just
Do we look
not something I can really track without developing a new system, but I will keep it in mind because I do think it's, like you said, it's worth tracking, I suppose.
Well, I brought up the heart system last time too, and I was thinking about it now. It's like that could be annoying if you have to do it against enemies as well if they have hearts, but it could be a simple thing of having the players just have hearts. That way, you know, like, oh, I can get hit 3 times, and then I'm going to be knocked out or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Okay, automation should be working now. All right, 2, we have an event. Okay. So in an event, let's see here. Yeah, it's up on screen. You encounter a traveling performer who dazzles you with their magical abilities. They offer you to teach you a trick or two. Do you learn a new spell or trick? Do you watch their performance? Or do you politely decline and continue on your way? 1, 2, or 3 in chat. Okay, number 1, you attempt to learn a new spell or trick. And your only magic user happens to be the druid. So the bard attempts to teach you a spell. And so you learn sleep. As they play this captivating spell, the druid learns the somatic and verbal components and uses their own nature to improvise the spell itself. And now, oh, interesting. You all are making your way to fulfill your duties. The Sorcerer's Quest. You begin to pass this threshold as you wander through the lands. You feel an overwhelming heat as fire begins to erupt from the ground. You notice that this is a plane of fire. It seems as though some sort of portal has spilled over into the wasteland around you. And without much refuse, 4 elementals appear before you. And they just kind of surprise you, catch you off guard. Now, you also all leveled up. So I'll make sure to
how does leveling
inform you. So generally, the way I have level ups is there will be an animation that plays. So you go and see that. So our fighter gains Action Surge and Tactical Mind. So Action Surge gives you a whole nother turn to deal whatever you want with your action. So that could be attacking, most likely will be. As well as Tactical Mind gives you a skill advantage on something you fail. Our rogue, you gain Cunning Action. So you can dash, disengage, or dodge as a bonus action. You also get Steady Aim, which allows you to not move in your turn, gaining advantage. And then our druid gains a new spell as well as Wild Shape.
The little pop-up ribbons are just a little blurry. I don't know.
Yeah, they are kind of blurry. But
the level
also,
up stuff looks good.
Yeah, unfortunately they're blurry, but I basically screenshotted what's in the game. It's kind of like one of those things where I'd have to redo it as a graphic. I think screenshotting's fine.
Oh, it's fine. You can read it easy, but just a little tip.
Okay, so level 2, you guys each gain your maximum hit points. So that's going to be 10 for the fighter, and it'll be 8 for our rogue and druid.
Oh no! Do you keep your health between battles?
You do.
I'm sorry, Chris. I see why you wanted me to heal you.
I was also being Jesus. It'll be fine though. But yeah, it wouldn't be a roguelite if you didn't keep your health, and it'd be too easy.
I suppose. Oh look at that!
Leveling up.
And level up heals you, just like another video game.
Well, it's about to change. It didn't do it automatically, which is a shame. Okay, the fact that it didn't automatically give you the health is something that I need to... I'm basically going to be watching this whole thing and cringing at how poorly some of these things are not happening in real time. Might just be my computer, though. We'll see. Okay, so our rogue, you were down like 4 health points, so you have 12 out of 16. So yeah, combat ensues. Okay, the first magma method will charge forward at our fighter here. And we'll go for a claw attack. Natural 20.
Fighter dies.
11 points of damage. Rogue, you didn't lose any health. I'll give it back. But fighter, yeah, 11 points of damage to start combat. It is now our druid's turn. I'm hoping the automation kicks in. Please! Nice. Okay, there it goes. Okay. And Wild Shape. You also have Wild Companion as an option.
I entangle the methods and back.
And as a magician, just so you're aware, you have a spell called Fairy Fire that you got at this level too.
Ooh, both are concentration though, right? Entangle and Fairy Fire? Or no?
Both are concentration, yes. However, they are flying, but we'll say the Entangle will still lash up and try and wrap them, try to restrain them.
Didn't consider that, yeah.
Should be still pretty effective, so long as they fail their saves. So you attempt to entangle them.
Ooh, I can get almost all of them.
So half of them succeeded, half failed. So we'll say the furthest two. Well, it actually looks like it picked for us the far right and then the close right. Both of them are currently entangled. So this one will fly forward and will attack you, Mr. Rogue. 12 to hit, which you leap out of the way just in time as his claws sink into the dirt. Rogue, it's now your turn. Those are not your abilities.
I haven't seen abilities in a while.
I just turned on the automation, but looks like I did the screenshot wrong.
I leap into
Easy
the
to
air
fix.
with stabbers drawn and bring them down on each of the wings of the monster in front of me.
Now it kicked in. Okay. So your stabber's drawn, you leap forward, and gauging its reaction, you go for its weak point, try to get a sneak attack in.
Is this supposed to be like an elite battle?
Yeah, you're fighting 4 magma methods.
Okay.
So they are quite strong. There's a very possible chance you guys die here. You deal 6 points of damage total. And then we'll go ahead and throw your sneak attack damage on top. An additional 2. Okay, we come now to the far right magma method. He's going to try and break out. 13, so unfortunately needs a 14 to pull himself free. Fighter, it's your turn.
It's MPHIT is how you spell the creature they are, right?
Yeah, method. So you do have Action Surge, as well as Tactical Mind. Tactical Mind is more of a resource you can use as a reaction. But Action Surge, you'll be able to attack a second time. So I guess 4 times if you're counting your main hand and offhand. So you also have Prepare. So if you choose not to move this turn, you'll deal additional damage.
I want to action surge and violently slash at the method in front of me as many times as I can.
Okay, excellent choice. So you do roll with advantage here. And we'll throw your Prepare on for some additional damage.
Oh, I can do that too.
Yeah. Oh, first strike does miss, however.
Oh my.
Second strike hits. And then with Action Surge, we'll go again. So already 7 points of damage. Oh, you do best his armor for the first attack. Man, even with advantage, rolling low.
Ouch.
But that is enough to bring him down. And so you watch as your final swing cuts into the method. Its body begins to boil and then burst. So Fighter, you try to leap out of the way.
Oh no.
You're able to escape some of the blast. Rogue, unfortunately, catches you off guard.
What the heck?
This method will last in the turn order. We'll go for our druid here. $14 to hit does find purchase, 8 points of damage. Druid, it's now your turn.
I will cure the wounds of our fighter.
Okay, so you reach over and give the fighter quick heal, trying to avoid an opportunity attack. A magma tries to slash at you, but misses. You get your cure wounds off, which was buffed recently. It now heals 2d8 plus 3. So that brings the fighter back up to 15 hit points.
Oh,
What the?
if only I had someone climbable nearby that could cure these wounds of mine.
Lol.
And then, Druid, you'll take a couple steps back. Alright, it is now the Magma Mephit's turn, who will try to attack our rogue, finish him off, but misses. So Rogue, do keep in mind, you can use your cunning action to disengage. It is now your turn.
Damn.
I'll still be able to attack though if I do that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so rogues can use their main action to attack, and as a bonus action, they can dash, disengage, or hide.
I disengage and hide behind the climbable tree-like druid, perch my crossbow upon their shoulder, and fire at the nearest enemy.
I think tree likes a bit, indeed.
Okay, and the crossbow comes out. Finds purchase. And with the sneak attack damage, see if that brings him down. It does. The magma method begins to boil and then burst. Our fighter might be caught in it. He'll roll a save. And succeeds. Fighter does still take 3 points of damage.
A wild companion? Is that like a that's just like a buddy I can summon onto the field?
Yeah, it's a small pet. It does take your action though.
And it
But
can
it is
attack. Can attack the same turn.
It can attack, yes.
Okay.
Yes, it can. I would allow.
All right.
I might have frozen. Yep, I froze. I'll just say fighter, it's your turn.
Friend.
No, I summoned my wild companion.
It's the fighter's turn first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the turn order is up on screen.
Oh, because you had to reset it. Okay.
Well, you went, you healed your fighter, and then the rogue went. And now it was the enemy's turn.
Oh, I thought it. Oh, it looked like it came up on screen as it was my turn. That's why. Sorry.
Yeah, it might have been my automation, which is still finicky. Every time I click someone else, it kind of assumes like, oh, it's their turn. Okay.
Mhm.
Taking a leap back. Surprised it didn't state that through the voiceover.
I take a leap
Okay, so you
back
take-
as far as I can and shoot the nearest method with my crossbow.
Okay. Unfurling your crossbow. The bolt finds purchase. 9 points of damage. It is now the Mephit's turn. He'll fly towards you. And this time he'll let loose a fire breath. Oh, it hits most of you.
I'm not seeing much of anything other than it being Druid's turn.
Yeah, it looks like
And I'm
the
in
game
two
kind of
places.
crashed. The game did crash. Interesting.
All right. Well, I kind of have to go soon, anyways.
All right, I will go ahead and skip this. And if you have to go ahead and excuse yourself.
Well, I have a few like feedback things I want to give you when you get a chance, or before I.
Yeah,
go.
we'll go ahead and fast forward through this combat. I think it would have been close, but I think you guys might have lived. I still haven't decided what I would do if like one of you die.
It brings in a new person.
But yeah, sadly, there's a new person.
Well, you could
I'm
always
saying
do.
like somebody dies and then somebody else gets to come in as somebody else. Like
Or-
you're running in a new character, like, hey, blah blah blah, just joined the party because of you went to town and drank with them at a bar and talked with them and they joined your party.
Yeah, you could do something like that if you get to like a town encounter or something like that. I think that'd be pretty cool, especially since it's a roguelike. So you don't want to immediately just have it replaced. But if you go to the part on the board that would be like the bonfire of Slay the Spire, maybe you can, instead of healing, spend it to look for a new person or whatever.
And that way you're also incentivizing. You're like incentivizing people to play well, I guess. But then again, you're also de-incentivizing people who don't know what they're doing. So that might also be bad.
That's part of the roguelike, because if you fail, you start over again, and it
guess.
shouldn't be that hard to start over. And it would also be a good opportunity if you've done the quest, right? And if we completed that, we just unlocked Bard or whatever, a sorcerer. So then when we go to the tavern, maybe we could get a sorcerer to come along instead or something.
Right.
Yeah, I was considering throwing in a level 1. Like, let's say your level 2 died. Like, is the replacement level 1? But I think that, honestly, is more of a setback than anything. Especially if you start having tougher encounters. Hard to say, though.
Well, you can always have it scaled to the level. I guess since I'll be heading out pretty soon, the thing that I was going to suggest, one of the two things is that I don't know if this would make it easier or not, but it would probably make it easier on the player, is that with level ups, especially in the early levels of D&D, that's so many new things that are being added every time, and then that means that's more stuff for you to add to the hotbars and stuff. Maybe you can make it a thing, and this would be another chat interaction thing, where it's like, kind of like, if you remember in Paper Mario, when you level up, you get to choose one of 3 things, like health, the FP or BP or whatever. You can kind of do something similar here, where it's like, you level up, you can choose to gain health, or gain a I don't know, maybe a stat like Dex or something. I don't know how it works, but you can gain another health thing, you can gain ability, or you can gain a stat, something like that, or maybe attack +1 or something just to simplify it, but also make it feel like you're leveling up and you're engaging the players with it. And then as they're a new level, then those new abilities that they would normally get for being at level can be a part of the upgrade pool that you get with the from doing the other things. That way you're not overcrowding and overwhelming the players with so many different options and making it harder for you to put more hot things on the hot bar every time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, funny enough, the hotbar isn't a problem. It's kind of like, I'm renaming files. I can show you guys behind the scenes if you're curious about it. The hotbar wasn't the problem. It was more of the automation, like having it appear when it's your turn.
Yeah.
That I was struggling with.
Yeah.
I like the concept of simplifying upgrades. When it comes to a roguelike, I definitely took a lot of inspiration from Slay the Spire, where you're getting custom features and abilities, spells. So it's unfortunate that didn't work when I tried to present it. I wish it did, because I think that is a very core concept that I'm playing with. I do like the idea of simplifying it, but at the same time, no matter what, I'm going to be getting new players. I'm going to be getting people who have never played D&D. And then there's the people that do play D&D, like they'll already know what, typical class is going to get. No matter what, if someone doesn't have knowledge of Dungeons & Dragons, making it simple is definitely what I want to do. So that's kind of like the whole thing I'm struggling with right now is
well, I guess
where to simplify it.
I guess just because I'm just spitballing. You take all this with a grain of salt, of course. But like, let's say you had the 3 heart system, right? And that was the health. That would be super easy to like understand and see. I don't know if it would be easy for you to make graphics or anything like that, but at least for the player wise, it'd be easy to understand and see. And then when you level up, you can choose to gain an extra heart, so that'd be another hit you could take. But let's say I'm the rogue, I could either do that, or maybe I can, because how often does the sneak attack die usually upgrade? Is it every level, or is it every other level or something like that?
Every odd level.
Every odd level. Oh, okay. I was going to say that you could choose between health, sneak attack die, or I don't know, like something else. I couldn't think of it out of the spot. But that was just an example. That could be a thing that people vote on, and that'd be fun to do, and something, well, because it's not going to be a one-to-one translation from D&D, of course, but that way when a new person, because he said that it's going to be rotating people obviously on these characters, when a new person takes over the character, they don't have to see like 10, especially looking at the fighters and druids hotbars, they have 10 different things that they can choose from to do. And then that increases the time in combat because they're trying to figure out what they want to do before they type it and all that stuff. That's all. Like,
yeah, I think first comers, like you said, are going to be very overwhelmed. I think that's just going to be, that's honestly D&D in general. Like, if you don't know how to play Dungeons & Dragons.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the difference between, even without the newcomers thing, the difference between this and D&D is that the people playing the characters are swapping out all the time. So even if they are an experienced, well, I mean, maybe experienced players will have, like super experienced players will just know because they know everything about D&D or whatever. But even just like intermediate and maybe decently versed people in D&D are going to have to like stop and think what's going on because they're playing a whole new character. They haven't been playing this character for like you would be in a regular D&D campaign. So they have to stop and look at whatever all the abilities they have, or what abilities have been used, because they're also coming into a different person and they might not have been watching the whole time.
Yeah. And thank you for your feedback, especially. I'll definitely be rewatching this. Right now I'm very scatterbrained, as you all can clearly tell. Like, I'm trying to do multiple things.
Yeah.
I think the ability to understand what you can do is incredibly important. I want to somehow make it available, like the hotbar, that you can view it. And this is something I was playing with, is like taking a screenshot and sharing it in chat, which is possible. It's also something that I was kind of concerned with privacy. So for example, I made a command that will take a screenshot of the stream and then link it immediately in chat. But it also is basically taking whatever I have copied to my clipboard and sharing it. So that like in a cataclysmic event, like it's a password. There's a con to it.
Yeah.
So it's something I might play with, but
I mean,
gives
the
you insight.
hop bearers were a lot nicer to have this time around. I mean, I know they didn't work like you wanted them to the entire time, but when they did work, they were pretty handy and a way to. It was definitely more helpful to have that available.
Mm-hmm. So the automation's now working pretty well. Basically, it's looking for a specific UI element on my screen, and then it will appear. And I have a decent feature going on. So here, I'm actually only clicking your characters, which are at the top of the screen, which now you can see the health bar. This is supposed to be the in-between scene, just to give you an idea of, hey, this is my character. I have fighter, rogue, and druid. Obviously, it doesn't match for you guys in horizontal, but it looks good in vertical. Here, let me just take a quick screenshot and share it with you in Discord.
It doesn't look bad on the screen, but
yeah, it doesn't look bad on the stream right now. I guess the last thing I was gonna suggest too is, I don't know if you've, because I mean, in the grand scheme, it's not that important, but it might make it easier to come up with encounters and stuff like that. Is just having it only needs to be like super simple, just like some kind of story thread that connects the whole thing to like what are we doing? Are we traveling somewhere? Some basic quest like, we're after some legendary thingamajig that will cure cancer.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
I'm glad you said that. It's also something that I haven't really fleshed out, because that's one of the things that will tie it all together once it's like set in stone.
Yeah.
Just to give you a glimpse, it's you have your mid boss, which is the Minotaur at this point. But I also have like 3 other mid bosses I can use, and then the final boss, which is the Lich. So that's going to be the overarching theme. Is like, there's undead that are part of this region, and then they're all originating from the Lich. But again, like, I've been so focused on the software rather than the story at this point.
Yeah. I mean, the story doesn't have to be much. It just gives you a thorough line through to be able to come up with the encounters or what kind of mobs you're engaging with. I guess would make it easier to a little bit if you had a theme. So if you go with like Lich being one of the big bosses, you can just go with an undead theme overall for a lot of the things, and then just vary up a little bit of the environment so they're not identical. But it'd make it easier. Undead this thing, do like a necromancer here or something like that. Gives it a little bit more easier thing, or that we're going to the Lich's lair, so we're traveling through the swamps, or we're traveling through this to get to there.
Okay, so I know you have to go. There's one last thing that I added recently that I'll force you guys to do.
Oh,
I think it was fun, and then we'll call it there. So the Bard quest, I decided to add a unique mini game. So basically, if you guys go to the castle, which I know you were curious about, Caleb, was that's the town. So when you stop in town, you get to choose between the apothecary, which is like potions, the blacksmith, the tavern, or the relic hunter. And if you go to the tavern, that's where you can pick up the Bard quest. And so that's the third option.
Beer pour.
If you,
sorry,
yeah, you guys don't have much money.
No, the beer pour.
That's okay, but
it's all foam.
Options, just to give you an idea, at the bar, like if you go carousing, it's free to do like a dance party. So whoever rolls the highest in like a group check, right now we're not doing a vote. I'm just talking through it. We're basically wrapping up here. We're wrapping up. But you basically have your choice of like, you can gamble all your money. We would flip a coin.
Penalty 3.
And that would be option 2. Option 3 would be a tavern brawl, which would be like a quick and fight. And then the Bard quest was going to be the minigame, and that's what I wanted to show you. This was created by another streamer, Is your character still talking? Alright, I'm gonna silence the text to speak. So, you guys would be asked to play a song in order to buy time for the bartender. Let's see if this works. Okay, so your objective here is to buy time for the bartender. Can you please play the Song of Time?
Is it going to show us what the Song of Time is, or?
It's right there.
The Song
Hey.
of Time is
Chloe.
up to you. What is it? And I would put a timer on screen, probably like a minute. You're just buying time, quite literally. So I haven't quite... Like, I'll probably have like a script for this
Left up,
quest.
right, left up, right.
Left.
Oh,
Should
we just
probably
want to do it
turn off.
one at a time.
No, you guys can spam it. Like, that's the fun part. I would probably turn off text-to-speak for this.
Up, get in, on, and Jerry.
Am I supposed to be
Yeah,
hearing
yes,
Link
yes.
play the ocarina?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're listening to the stream, you should be able to hear it.
Okay. I do see it showing up on the screen though when we type it one at a time.
I'm listening.
If you can't hear it, I can hear it. So that tells me it's coming through
I think it's really soft.
some... Yeah, I'm not quite sure what audio source it's coming through.
God, my voice is loud on your end.
Okay, well,
That's cool though.
yeah, it's sad that you guys can't hear it. But also another thing I get to troubleshoot. Yay! So we'll do a quick... So it plays a quick song. You guys can probably play like any song to buy time, but that's like the pun we're playing with. But like Song of Time would be the correct choice. The crowd would go wild. You guys would get like a gold reward. And you would be able to play Bard the next playthrough.
Cool.
Oh.
I hate this image of this beer being poured. That's the worst pour of beer I've ever seen.
You're absolutely right. You don't want a beer poured that way. But yeah, after that, you would go back to the map and this icon. And again, we're wrapping up here. Thank you, everybody who tuned in and suffered, much like my friends did. But this would be the mid-boss fight. And you guys would fight the Minotaur. And so then I would have a moment where I, pop the Minotaur up on screen. Which, as soon as you enter the tavern, I would have done the tavern scene as well. Kind of forgot
Now
about
you're
that.
dancing for us.
Oh,
dance,
sexy
buddy.
dance.
Oh yeah! And of course.
Oh, look at it! I love the Minotaur.
The camera's so high, which I was also testing
Right up
earlier.
on it.
He's in our face.
Oh, I made it worse. Fuck.
Oh, he skipped leg day.
Mm-mm.
God.
Oh my god. That's the nightmare fuel. Holy.
That's after we beat the Minotaur.
He's trying to intimidate
Oh,
us.
his face is like perma broken. The hell? Alright, I'm done. This is the worst beta test ever. I want a refund of the 4 months I spent.
It looks extra spooky. I did have one thing to say, Elliot, though.
Yes.
It might be just like extra work for you or whatever, but like as people like like participate. Like you can get like either a badge or an emote. Like if you get to be in game, you get a badge, and then if you make it through the first set of challenges, you get a like I beat Minotaur badge and stuff. And then like later on, when you have new seasons where you're playing with like different maps, you know, like people can still have throwbacks like, oh, I defeated the Minotaur kind of thing.
Be cool.
Interesting. Well, that's a good thought. I know badges are like a Twitch specific thing, so that doesn't help YouTube. But there was a platform I was looking at. It's called Stream Loots, where basically they made NFTs for Twitch and YouTube streams, and so that would apply to that idea.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to head out. So.
Bye, Chris.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Thanks, Chris. See ya.
Take care.
Oh, and another tip would be I know like I just researched a little bit about it, but there's these like AI assistants like Otter and things like that, and it'll transcribe your whole entire conversation, and then you can just like ask it questions about what you talked about, and it'll like give you answers about like the different feedback you had and things like that. It costs money though, but I was just saying, just something.
Yeah, it's a concept. So you're saying a transcription of
earlier you were saying that like I'm taking notes while trying to run the game and stuff like that. I was like, oh, like this thing would just like transcribe everything you say, and then you can ask it for specifics, or it'll give you an outline.
Mm-hmm. I did implement ChatGPT into chat, and it was basically spamming every time someone was talking. And
The
it was,
advertisement,
like, poorly written.
Yeah, the advertisement I saw made it look like it was a miracle machine. So, but that's probably not the case.
Let me just see if I have that still installed. ChatGPT. But yeah, thank you guys for helping.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna go to dinner with the folks, boys. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, see you, dude. Hey, David, thank you too. Oh, there's ChatGPT. He's helping.
A speckled owl swoops, piercing the night with its silhouetted figure. Its hushed hoot echoes across the murky woods, layering an eerie serenity over the moon-kissed landscape.